Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. Derek here. We are back reacting to another episode of Superman and Lois. This is season 1, episode 4. It is called Haywire. Before we jump into anything regarding this, I want to make a little bit of an announcement. So I do plan on doing a reaction for the Snyder Cut for Justice League. I'm planning on watching that, I think, tonight at some point, possibly, or tomorrow. One of these next few days, I will be watching it, and then it'll take a little bit to edit. So if you're interested in that, look out for that on the channel within the next 3-4 days. Make sure you're subscribed and have the bell rung so you know when I upload that. It'll just take a little bit of time because I gotta edit and upload this, and then Falcon and Winter Soldier is Friday morning, so that will be interesting. And then it's just a lot of stuff to try and get into a few days. So but last time on Superman and Lois, what happened? We had Jordan joining the football team, which he should not be allowed to play, honestly. Even if like he can keep his powers under control even a little bit, like it's just, one, it's dangerous to be playing against regular people as a superhero. And then two, it's just not fair. Like, at any point he wants, if the spirit of competition engulfs him at any point he wants, he can just, it's like steroids. He can just turn up his powers a little bit whenever he wants. If he wants, maybe he won't be hurting anyone physically, but maybe if it's a close game and he wants to score, he can just turn on his powers a tiny bit, maybe run a little bit faster, maybe hit a guy a little bit harder and force a fumble. It's cheating. So I don't think he should be allowed to play, but he's going to be allowed to play. What else? We had Lois's car set on fire. That was last episode, right? And then she got attacked in a motel she's following up on this story about Morgan Edge, right? So this guy clearly does not want her to find anything out. And it seems like maybe he's experimenting on people. Some of the people that probably went missing in these towns, he's turning them into, maybe trying to recreate the Superman and build a competitor, if you will, to him. And his assistant, the one, I didn't recognize that they were the same person, but his assistant, when Lois quit, that was like, he's going to destroy you. Apparently she was the one with the laser eyes at the end that killed the guy that tried to kill Lois. Presumably because he failed, and, Superman and Lois know his face now, so he's not really an effective, undercover photographer for them, but also not an effective just person at doing the job he needed to do. He failed, so they killed him. It'll be interesting to see how many more of these superpowered people there are, because they did mention a team. So I'm guessing this episode we might see Captain Luthor again. He was absent from last episode. Sarah broke up with her boyfriend. That's good. So we might see some progress on that front regarding her and Jordan. Jonathan still hasn't shown any powers yet, but he's just the most wholesome brother in the world, so he'd probably be chill regardless. And yeah, I don't know what else to say. Before we actually start watching the episode, if you are so inclined, please leave a like on the video. That means a lot to me. Subscribe if you want to see more of my reactions, either to this show, to the Snyder Cut, which should be coming in a few days, to Falcon and Winter Soldier, really anything. I think this is the second to last episode before Superman and Lois go on break, because they're taking a month or two off or something like that, because they had to pause filming due to the pandemic. So they're going to take a break, and then the final season of Supergirl will air, and I will not be watching that because it's bad. Just putting it out there. Supergirl it started out as a decent show, and it became bad. So I won't be watching that. I'll have to try and figure out another show to kind of fill the gap a little bit, because otherwise I'd only be watching one show, which would be Falcon and Winter Soldier, and there's only 6 episodes of that, so I don't know. Yeah. Subscribe if you want to see any of that. Ring the bell so you're notified when I upload. If you want to see the full-length reactions to any of the shows that I'm watching, head down to my Patreon. It is linked in the description. There's also going to be like a title card at the end or whatever that you can click on. Yeah, if you're interested in the full-length stuff for that, or if you just want to support me in general for a lower amount, that would mean a lot as well. Other than that, let's jump into the episode. Saskatchewan. Dang.
Maintain your course.
What kind of crazy battles happening in Saskatchewan? Are these... It almost looks like asteroids falling from the sky. Is this... Ooh, it's a ship.
Now the resurrection begins.
What? Oh, that was Morgan Edge that was there. I was like, what? What is he... Is he secretly Kryptonian?
They really pack him in here, huh?
Dad?
I know it's a surprise, but it's John's home opener.
Dang.
Never came to any of my games.
Just straight sits on that wet bleacher. Didn't even try and wipe it off. His butt's gonna be so wet.
I need you to get me that ball.
Yo, why hasn't he been in the game the whole time?
Yeah!
If you're that confident in his ability. Oh, never mind. I guess he is just incredible. Yeah, this is straight up cheating. It's like you just put a kid like souped up on steroids and it, like you put a professional football player into this high school game, and this is not fair. So you gotta feel so bad for that other team because they literally just put some super robot into the game, and it's like you can't compete against that. No matter what you do, don't let him play football. Just because it makes him feel good and he has friends, it's super cheating. It goes against the integrity of the game. I know a lot of people don't care, but I care. I think it's interesting that they only put him in for like one play. Because if they had put him in for a lot of plays, they probably would have won like 100-0.
Clark and I can handle this.
Clark, how's he helping? By coaching the team?
He's involved, which is a hell of a lot more than you ever were.
Oh,
Like his priorities
shoes.
changing.
It's called being a father.
Oh,
God dang.
so you're going against my advice?
Yes.
I don't work for you, Sam.
Yeah, he does this because he chooses to.
New day.
You're not his boss.
Let me get my bag from the car. Stick around this weekend. It'd be easier if I pitch in.
No, you don't just get to decide that you're staying the weekend. If my dad came like to my house and was just like, hey, like after we had a fight where he's talking about interfering in our lives, and he was like, how about I just get my bag, I'll stay. I'd be like, no, go home. You don't live that far away.
So what?
I understand you're one of mine. You work at my bank.
Yes, well,
And do you find the work satisfying?
I got into finance to help people. And
Would
lately
you
it
like
feels
something
like
else to
the
feel
others who I'm
satisfying?
helping are the
This is what he's going at. He wants you, Lana.
Harsh business. You could have done anything you wanted, and yet you chose to come back here where your options were somewhat limited.
By options, he's talking about her husband.
Smallville's home. I like you.
We're
We're actually not open at 10 o'clock at night.
Your old contract for your lawyer.
Oh, is this the laser eye lady?
We're aware of the piece you intend to publish tomorrow.
How could you know that?
Any such action would be in breach of your previous contract, as I'm sure your lawyer will explain.
How? Does she have a non-compete? You're gonna hurt yourself. What?
What is happening to me?
Excuse me? Did Jordan somehow give you powers?
Red 57! Set hut! Oh! Take away!
That's cheating.
Partner fit.
I'm on the bench, and then Jordan's got the game ball. You know? I don't know how that's really fair to any of the players, to be honest.
Yep.
It's not taking over the whole team. There's room for you to step up.
It's not. He can outcompete people without trying. It's not fair.
Gorgeous husband, love of my life, really.
It's not because he's just like humanly stronger. It's he's.
Anything to do with your dad.
I don't enjoy it.
It has to do with you.
You seem pretty smug, rooting for an entitled billionaire.
I just want what's best for this town. Right now, it seems pretty clear to me that that's Morgan Edge bringing jobs in.
Seems very reminiscent of some Trump supporters.
I was annoyed. He made me uncomfortable, and you didn't even notice. Is that where our marriage is at?
So, okay, Lana, you want me to get in the guy's face?
Whatever. I need some air.
Lana,
Yeah, you butthole. He was clearly trying to move in on her, and you're like, oh, having a great time.
Look, I'm kind of bored with the whole faux British accent, billionaire at a football game trying to fit in con job.
I can assure you my accent is genuine. I was
Oh
raised
my god,
in
who
the
cares?
Let's just lay it all on the table.
You sue me, I countersue. Your records get opened up in Discovery, and that doesn't end well for you or your brand name.
My. You're past your prime, playing a high-stakes game with a losing hand. You should fold while you still can.
Actually, I have one more ace to play.
Bring it with me to the town assembly.
For now, I'm done with you unless this creep show has anything to add. I didn't think so.
God dang, Lois. Tell him how it is, girl.
See, it's plays like these that make me want to quit
You
coaching
know.
altogether and open up a pizzeria. Oh, you think that's funny, Harris? You know what?
Well, you made a joke. Of course he thought it was funny.
You happen to have the time.
You shouldn't let him know you have a watch.
Piece. And analog.
Is that gum? It's probably explosive gum.
It's not chewing gum. It's a temperature-sensitive synthetic polymer resin I made in the sink of my prison cell. Highly mercurial at an atomic level. Combined with a precise vibration. 3, 2.
It's gonna explode.
Tag.
Names their kid Tag.
Tag.
Fine.
Priority Alpha.
Dad,
Kilgrave has escaped.
something was not right.
John, we'll talk about it later, okay? I have a call. I gotta go.
This is kind of important, so he's got to bail on this.
See you soon, Big Blue.
It's probably not good.
Jordan, I know that you're showing signs of being special.
Not that big a deal, really. Yeah, come on, Grandpa. He's just the same old, barely above average kid.
All right, well, don't waste his time.
Okay, well,
Try to
don't
think about the fact that when your dad gets distracted,
say that.
lives are at stake. Understood?
Raising them is not a waste of time.
Sure.
They're not gonna bring things to him.
Party or what?
if they think it's wasting his time. Is Clark gonna show up to this meeting like he was supposed to?
So one-sided, it's pathetic.
Did Clark ever respond?
Don't make her have a drink tonight. I mean, no kids, no husbands, just a girls' night out. I promise you it'll be fun.
All in favor of granting Edge Intercorp exclusive rights to the Schuster mines? All opposed?
Nay.
Oh snap, she's gonna do it.
Motion approved.
Oh, she didn't even get to say anything?
What time do you want to... I'm not mad.
Well, you should be. I said I was going to be there and I wasn't.
Clark, can we not do this?
She should be mad, yeah.
I just want to...
Okay, fine, I'm mad. And I know it's irrational because I understand that there were lives at stake, but this was so important to me. And we lost the vote, by the way, and now I'm feeling guilty for wanting you to do something you said you would do. But lately, with everything that's going on with the boys and my dad constantly in your ear, it feels like I'm really far down on your list of priorities.
Is that honestly how you feel?
Right now, in this moment that I might regret tomorrow, yeah, I do.
Yeah, Clark, you gotta be a little bit better, man.
Nice of you to show up.
I think it was a courtesy.
Dude, shut up, man. You suck.
Courtesy? How about showing me the courtesy of doing your job?
It's not his job.
But as a job, General?
Clark is my oldest friend. I've known him for as long as I can remember. Comes back to visit, and he's a whole new guy. Confident, self-assured, stands up straight, razor sharp. It didn't take long for me to figure it out. Who's you? Thank you.
Was it her?
You brought out the best in him, Lois. And that's not getting lost in the shuffle.
I don't think this, I'm not sure this conversation passes the Bechdel test. Maybe that's why that one writer was mad. Because the girls get together and they talk about men.
I like it here. Feels like for the first time in a while, I'm happy.
She's a little jealous.
Maybe it's because you got really lucky with the company you keep.
Yeah, cute girls talk to you. Dang, dude. You and Jonathan need to have a talk real quick.
Sorry. What's going on?
For this sonic blaster to work, I needed you in closer range. Now pay attention. Let me show you what this baby can do.
Yo, someone shoot this man in the face? That's probably not good. Ah, is he a weakling though? No one else wants to intercede on this man's behalf right now? No one has a gun?
Look, he's not the only one that can do this. John, trust me.
What are you gonna do, brother?
Jordan! Just breathe, it's gonna be okay.
Oh my god, he's just destroying things.
Jordan, we need to get out of here now. We need Dad. I need you to get up. Jordan! Dad! Dad!
Alright, good work. Melt that gun, knock the man unconscious, and get out of there. Is he gonna get there in time?
Jordan!
what is he gonna do? Bring him up high enough where he can't breathe?
I'll calm you down.
Yeah. Okay. You don't want to linger up there because that could probably cause some brain damage. Being at that high altitude for a while. Should go back down.
And the truth is,
I wonder if he actually did give tag powers.
I've honestly been really jealous about all of it. And I'm sorry about that.
God, he is the best brother ever.
It was an accident, okay?
Jonathan is the greatest brother in the history of television. This kid's so nice.
He's gonna go to a special school for kids with these sorts of abilities.
Like the X-Men.
Why didn't you call me the minute you knew something was wrong?
I mean, he kind of tried to talk to you, but yeah. Him.
Stop it!
You should cut off contact with this man.
No, it's about you and your parenting choices and how they sucked then and they still suck. And we're not gonna be applying them to our boys.
I made a choice to dedicate my life to the wrong son.
So how dare you tell him he can't be the father he is because you never bothered to give it a go. You
Oh,
keep pushing us,
snap.
you won't be welcome here anymore.
Fine. I'll get my things.
Yeah.
I have a long drive ahead.
You were never invited to stay the night in the first place. You butthole. Good on Lois for standing up for Clark. It's a date night. Because you said you were low on priorities.
Madame.
This all took him 8 seconds to string up, so.
My first thought of the day. And my last thought at night. I love you.
Wow. Was there food involved, or is it just sitting at a table drinking? He's seeing Clark want to be a father, and he's gonna somehow equate this to his priorities and desires shifting from national security, and he's gonna see that as evidence to support Captain Luther's side of things. She must be new to these powers, because she's blowing them up. Ex-Kryptonite.
Assuming we can find enough willing candidates.
Oh, I'm not concerned. As you know, I have an eye for talent.
Is that what he wanted to do to Lana? When he was talking about her untapped potential and all that? Okay. Overall, another solid episode. This one definitely felt a little bit more CW-esque. Mainly, specifically regarding his little fight with what's his face, the Genius Man. It felt like it was a little bit just kind of like some manufactured conflict to cause some more drama within the general and the kids and all that jazz. But overall, still really solid episode. I'd give this one probably like an 8. If episode 1 and 2, if episode 1 was a 10, episode 2 and 3 were probably 9s. This one was an 8. Probably my least favorite of the episodes, but overall still a solid episode. What went down? So we had a few larger issues going on. One of which it all kind of connects to each other. So we had we had Lois and her reporting. Follow up on that a little bit. So she writes this like scathing story, and somehow Morgan Edge knows about it. Somehow. They probably used one of their people with super hearing or super sight or binoculars and figured out, and they're like, hey, you print this story and we're gonna sue you into the ground. They didn't explain you know, what they were going to sue her for. And I don't think they can, unless she signed like a non-compete clause where if she quits, like she can't work for another newspaper for a certain amount of time. I know that's a thing with a lot of businesses, particularly like regarding businesses where like you have a presence, whether that be online or in a paper or whatever. Like that's a thing with like YouTube channels and companies. Like different people have left a company and they haven't been able to do a similar type thing. Like she could obviously get any other job, but like in terms of a newspaper, she might have a non-compete clause in her contract. So she might not be able to go to the Smallville Gazette and just start writing stories for them because that would be in violation of her contract. Which then, yeah, Morgan Edge could sue her and be like, you broke your contract to not only write a story scathing me, but like, you know, yeah. But they didn't specify what they were gonna sue her for, and I think they did that because they really didn't want to get into like specific legalese of like what exactly they're trying to do to her. It was just kind of like, hey, threat of a lawyer, enter. And she goes and talks to them and is like, hey, I'm gonna go to the town hall meeting and show you what's what. And it's like, yeah, Lois, you tell him. And she's like, I'll countersue and all your documents will get opened up. It'll be a whole big thing. But then she goes to the town hall meeting and Clark doesn't show up. You know, the golden boy of Smallville, everyone's favorite, you know, because it's not like Clark is when Morgan Edge is talking about Clark, he's like, you came here with your unemployed husband. He's not just an unemployed, like he was also a world-renowned reporter. Like he may have gotten fired, but he was still like probably like a massive reporter at the Daily Planet. And he's this like small town hero to Smallville. So it's like, yeah, him going to talk probably would have carried a little bit of weight. And he didn't show up because he was on the search for this dude that got away for, you know, I mean, it's all kind of connected. So, but yeah. And Lois kind of puts him in his place a little bit of being like, hey, man, you're Superman, but we are a family, and you know, it's like one thing I appreciate about this though. If this was one of the other CW shows like Arrow, I want to specifically actually call out Arrow. If this was like season 4 of Arrow, they would have had Lois Lane be like, you said you would be there, and it would turn into this huge drama thing. It would be like, I can't trust you anymore. Like you don't keep your promises, la da 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 da. But even like the writing is competent because Lois is like, I understand that this is a tiny bit like nonsensical because you're Superman. Like, of course you have other priorities. I just want you to know how I feel right now. You know, I'm not asking you necessarily to change because I knew what I was getting into, but I just want you to know that it hurts a little bit that I don't feel like you're prioritizing our relationship. And I like that. If this was the CW, Arrow, The Flash, any of those shows, they would have made it a much bigger deal. Their relationship would have fractured. I feel like there was some like super specific stuff even that happened within Arrow where Oliver did something which was like a seemingly innocuous, either like didn't show up for something because he was in the middle of a battle, or he kept something from Felicity because it was like regarding his kid. and then their relationship just like destroyed itself because they decided to make the female character just like this over dramatic, like falling apart lady, like vindictive and like angry. I like that they made Lois like a normal person, how a normal spouse would react in this situation of being like, yes, I'm upset, and I do understand that it's a little ridiculous that I'm upset, but you did promise to be there, and he should have been there, if we're being honest, because he was feeling pressure from her dad to do his job, even though it's not his job. And so he searched a little extra long, and he missed the meeting that he was supposed to be at. And it's just like her dad is just screwing everything up. Her dad screws up their kids as well, because he goes over there after he has this big long fight about like, do your freaking job, Clark. He goes and talks to the kids. He's like, don't waste his time with your stupid little teenage stuff. And it's like, yo, General Lane, you absolute butthole. Like, come on, man. These kids have to be able to have the confidence that they can go to their dad with stuff. Like, to talk to him about anything. And then specifically, when there's danger afoot, like when stuff's going down, like they have to be able to go to him and call him for help. Like if they would have used that thing a little bit sooner, Jonathan wouldn't have hurt his jaw. This kid would have been able to get help sooner. And it's just like General Lane is interfering in Clark's life. And part of it, here's my theory. So Captain Luther or whatever presented General Lane with the idea that eventually Clark's priorities will change so drastically, like to the point that he would be willing to fight the US military or whatever, or he would become a bad dude and kill everyone. General Lane may be trying to just overcorrect a little bit, where instead of just being like, hey, yeah, man, like your priorities are changing, but you know, try and keep on top of, you know, the things that you need to do as Superman. That would be dope. Because I mean, they would have to deal with this stuff even if Clark wasn't there. So the fact that he shows up to help at all they should just be thankful. You know, just because he can save everyone most of the time does not mean you can expect him to be there and be upset if he's not. So he might be trying to overcorrect a little bit, like a harsh parent being like, you know, like when you don't want your kid to like drink alcohol or whatever when they're young, and instead of just talking to them being like, hey man, you can make your own decisions obviously, but I don't think it's a good idea for you to do this. Instead of being like, you're not allowed to drink if I ever see you drink it all, you're grounded for the rest of your life, like hitting the kid, and just like, you know, he's being too overbearing about the situation. And Clark and Lois are being like, yo, you need to back off. Lois is straight up like, you were a bad parent when I was a kid. And you know, quit yelling at Clark because he's doing what you never even tried to do. And it's like, ooh, sip that tea, Lois. And it's just like, oh my gosh. Ugh. But the other big thing involved obviously the two brothers. So Jonathan's feeling jealous because Jordan is like this super popular kid now, which I just want to make a quick point about the football scene at the beginning. One, I talked about how it's just completely not fair that he's playing. But also, if he's this good at defense and he can make these type of plays routinely, why did he only play one snap? Like, I get that he's a freshman, but dude, if this kid's wrecking house every play, why is he not in the whole game? And, you know, maybe if he was in the whole game, it would be a lot more obvious that he is a superhero, and you're going to win 156-0 because he's just going to run into the back and strip sack the quarterback every single time while he throws off 5 blockers with one arm. And it's like, dude, it's just, that was just a little gripe. He shouldn't be allowed to play. And Jonathan is rightfully jealous. You know, his whole life he's been popular, and because of the actions of his brother, both in terms of kissing Sarah, you know, basically everything that's going wrong in Jonathan's life right now is because of his brother. So like they go here and Jordan kisses a girl, which causes these bullies to bully both of them. He doesn't get the playbook. He doesn't learn the plays. He's not starting quarterback, even though like he would, the first freshman starting quarterback in the history of Metropolis High or whatever. He must be insane. He must be insane at football to be the first one ever to start at quarterback as a freshman. Like, he's got to be so freaking good, but because these bullies and this coach are an asshole, he just has to sit there and ride the bench while he watches his brother cheat his way to like stardom. And he's just not feeling good. And, you know, he maybe finds one kid to bond with in tag, who also, due to the actions of his brother, has a broken arm. And so their party or whatever was at the mines, right? So Jordan's heat vision caused an explosion. And the rocks were probably there in the mine, caused Tag to get powers. So he caused him to get that, and so Jonathan's bonding with him a little bit, and things are going wrong, and he's trying to like be there for him because he's a good dude. And then, you know, they're fighting in the woods, or he's trying to calm him down, and Jordan gets smoked. Just like, all right, dude, we're calling dad now. And then that situation gets resolved, but Jonathan's just got a rough time of it, man. Like his life kind of sucks. But then at the end, he tells his brother, he's like, I'm gonna be honest, I've been really jealous and I'm sorry. And I will not be jealous anymore if I can help it. And by the way, I know you wouldn't hurt people. You're a good dude. And it's just like, Jonathan, you are the most precious child in the history of the world. Like, of the list of good brothers on TV shows, you're shooting up the rankings real fast, pal. Like, you're just a great dude. Like, I love him. Yeah, I think those are all the main things, though. I think, in conclusion, I think Clark needs to be okay with some things, not being able to help the U.S. government with some stuff. You know, a bigger priority is raising his children. And the general needs to be okay with that. Also, like, this is not Clark's job. I think Jonathan is wonderful. I think Jordan needs to maybe be a little more cognizant of how his brother is feeling. Because, you know, when he's talking to Sarah, he's like, oh, he's been popular his whole life, he'll be fine. I think Jordan needs to maybe pay a little bit more attention to the fact that his brother's struggling. And I think Morgan Edge needs to die. I think Lana just needs to write her papers, man. Clark can get money from anywhere he wants. He could dig up a diamond. Actually, someone said that in the comments last time. I was like, why don't you just go to a diamond? People would be suspicious if Clark Kent just showed up with a massive diamond, been like, haha, here. Like, where'd you get that, man? Clark, yeah, he doesn't have a job. They definitely would not be able to afford lawsuits. I don't know what Lois should do. Yeah, I don't know. Oh, but then the episode ended with Morgan Edge finding this cavern, not a cavern. It was like a little hole of like yellowish kryptonite, so X-kryptonite. I don't remember if that's a thing from the comics. I know there's red kryptonite, which makes like Superman angry and stuff. But I don't know a whole lot about the other versions of kryptonite, if there are those. Those were presumably the rocks that fell from the sky at the beginning of the episode. And they have the ability to give people powers, which is interesting. I wonder if these pieces of kryptonite are somehow, you know, pieces of Krypton that reached Earth, you know. That would be unlikely, but they could just be pieces of like other asteroids, you know, foreign asteroids that have these special rocks that fall down to Earth and can somehow give people powers. I don't know. That might explain how his assistant has powers and all the people that he's been finding have powers. They're the people that go missing, and he uses these rocks on them to give them powers. They probably fell in previous places like New Carthage, and that's why he moved in. He's just there to get the rocks and experiment on people and then bail once he has all the resources. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know what else to say. Hopefully you guys enjoyed my reaction and the episode. If you liked what you saw, please leave a like on the video. Please subscribe if you want to see more of my reactions to this show. The Falcon and Winter Soldier starts tomorrow, so subscribe if you want to see that. Reaction to the Snyder Cut, I will be trying to get that up within the week, definitely. But yeah, I don't want to do just a review for it. I mean, but it is 4 hours long, so I don't even know if my camera can record me for 4 hours. It's just my phone, so I don't think it would overheat, but it might. I don't know how much space that would take up. Jeez, that's a 4-hour move. I'd probably talk about it for half an hour to an hour after. That's like 5 hours of my time. God dang. And then that's like, that's so much editing. Oh, jeez. Like, that's the 4 to 5 hours to watch this bad boy. It takes like almost twice that long to edit, because just cutting things out and cutting things down. You pretty much rewatch the whole episode at least once doing it. So, you know, editing the Snyder Cut reaction is going to take like 8+ hours, maybe. It'll take at least 6. I know that much. God dang it. And then I got to upload it. That's going to be be patient. It'll show up eventually. Yeah. Subscribe if you want to see any of that stuff. And then, yeah, if I keep saying, and yeah. If you want to see the full-length reaction to this episode, head down to my Patreon. It is linked in the description, or it'll be on one of those sides. It's either right there, or it's right there. Right there. I don't know. It'll be somewhere there. Yeah, if you... guys did it again. If you want to see the full-length reaction, head down to the Patreon. Or if you just want to support me in general outside YouTube, I have like a $3 tier that's just like, hey, I enjoy your content. That would mean a lot, because if I can eventually get to a point where I make okay money from this channel, then I will be a lot more able to meet deadlines and watch more shows and things like that. I think that's all I got. Thank you for watching. Means a lot. I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.